This is a story, a cautionary tale, if you will. But unfortunately, the people who we hope would heed the caution of these tales very often don't. And we have another story of gun violence where small children had access to a firearm, and there's only one of those small children left. Missouri parents are charged with murder after their 3-year-old accidentally shot and killed his 1-year-old sister. Stormy Miles Baker and Chelsey K. Martin face multiple charges, including child endangerment, for leaving loaded guns accessible to young children. The tragedy, very much damaging that family. And again, it's a one where, this could have easily been prevented, but hindsight's 2020. But it's not like there hasn't been a gazillion warnings for you in life that you shouldn't have a loaded gun anywhere accessible to a child. Because if you haven't noticed by now, having a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, they tend to get into things. And they might just find your gun, you freaking idiots. The devastating incident that happened last July resulted in the murder charges for Stormy Miles Baker and Chelsey K. Martin, both 28 years old, after their 3-year-old son accidentally shot and killed his 1-year-old sister at their family home in Dade County, Missouri. The parents now face second-degree murder, first-degree endangering the welfare of a child, resulting in death, and first-degree endangering the welfare of a child by creating substantial risk to a minor. According to Missouri law, second-degree murder occurs when someone knowingly causes the death of another person or causes the death of another person while intending to cause serious physical injury. It's also considered second-degree murder when someone commits or attempts to commit a felony, resulting in the death of another person. The state's theory in this case suggests that a 1-year-old girl was killed due to the felony child endangerment crimes allegedly committed by the defendants on July 20th, 2022, specifically leaving young children unattended in a bedroom with access to loaded firearms. On that fateful day, while Baker was outside watering the cattle, Martin was watching television after cleaning the kitchen. Normal life, 3-year-old obtained the firearm from the bedroom, and the 1-year-old girl was shot in the chest. While the Missouri State Highway Patrol officer arrived at the scene, the rifle was reportedly found in a bed where the mother saw the 3-year-old standing after the gun was discharged. In the statement to the authorities, both parents admitted to keeping 22 rifles, a .270 rifle, and a 12-gauge shotgun in the bedroom. They claimed that the firearms were always kept in the corner near the dresser and had never been touched by the children. Well, there's gun safes. There's high places where they can't reach them. Baker allegedly informed the state police that the guns were probably loaded, but believed the safeties were engaged. He also took responsibility, stating, "It's my fault. I'm the one that left the fucking guns loaded in the house." There was where they could get to it. The situation took a distressing turn when the 3-year-old boy told troopers that he used daddy's gun to shoot his sister. Following an investigation, the Office of Dade County Prosecuting Attorney Marcy Greenwade filed an affidavit of probable cause on June 7th. A warrant in the murder case was subsequently issued on June 9th, leading to the arrest of the parents, who were booked into the Cedar County Jail just the other night. Court records and jail records indicate that Baker and Martin are being held on a $100,000 bond as they await further legal proceedings. This is sad because, number one, now the surviving child doesn't have parents. They already lost their sister. This is just more trauma and tragedy for the kid. But I would like to question, why did they decide to bring these charges like a year later? Were they observing?
I don't know. I was wondering about that as well. And maybe it just took a while to...
Or was it an ongoing threat to the kids? Did CPS go in there and say, look, they really haven't cleaned up their game yet, and this is another disaster waiting to happen? If that's the case, I'm all about it. Because there's sometimes people just don't. And I don't know that that's the case here. But on the other end of it, you're traumatizing the kid again. If the parents, it sounds like they owned up to it. I would think that if something like this happened, you would take every step imaginable to prevent it from ever happening again. But not everybody does that. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I feel it's... The
charges are endangering a child, which is exactly what they did.
But here's the deal. If you're trying to do this as an example, you're not going to make an example. It's like getting frustrated to people who don't turn on their lights when it's raining. And you're like, turn on your lights.
Time for every time somebody called me when I was working in rain. Could you tell people to turn their lights on?
No matter how many times we pled with people on a 100,000 watt radio station during a storm to turn their lights on, there were plenty of people that were listening that heard that message 1,000 times and did not turn their lights on. And I can guarantee you put these people in jail, you charge them with this or that, it's not going to change the next moron who wants to leave a gun out for their kids. Nobody who does that has the mental capacity to stop and say, I remember that one who got arrested. Maybe I shouldn't do that so I don't get arrested. No, they're fucking idiots. And they'll do it.
Leave a gun out to where a 3-year-old could get it.
Plenty of people do it, and it's horrible.
That's not even hardly up on top of a dresser.
No.
And the other part that I find a little confusing about this is they say a rifle.
How did the 3-year-old handle the rifle? Yeah.
And now I've never shot a gun in my life. Mm-hmm. I've shot a BB gun. But don't rifles frequently have kind of a kick to them when you fire it? You kind of got to brace yourself.
You do, but I'm guessing he probably didn't have the physical ability to hold it correctly like you would hold a rifle. I'm guessing he got it off, got it down. Maybe it was on the bed and he pulled the trigger. He couldn't have
held the end of it up and all that.
I don't think he was aiming it.
Seems like it would have been hard for him to shoot it.
I think he just pulled the trigger and the sister was in the wrong spot. That's probably what it was.
He might not have even meant to pull the trigger.
Probably not at all.
So that I have that question. But the other question I have is the fact that the kid told the cops it was daddy's guns. Why does this kid even know about dad's guns?
Well, I'm sure daddy talks about his guns. And it's, a point of pride for some people. And it's, and I'm not against having guns if you're responsible about it. But the problem is you have far too many that are irresponsible about it. And
like this case.
No, it's
really, really sad.
I don't know where I stand, though. I don't know that they should go away for the sake of the child. If there was no other kid, fine, lock him up. Although, what is that really going to do? But there's that one surviving child. If for the most part, these parents, they learned a horrific lesson and will try and be good parents for this kid, and it appears to be that way, then let them be parents to that kid. Don't put that kid through more shit. But if that's
going to have a lot of trauma later in his life.
But if that's not the case, and these are questionable individuals, then yes, take them away, give that kid a chance at a better life. I just don't know the facts.
Yeah, because there's information. But it just makes me think that they must have been building a case over the past year and thought, okay, now we have enough. I don't know.
Yeah, it's that or it was triggered by something. It was, like I said, it might have been triggered by a visit going, yeah, these people really haven't changed much. But either way, just horrible and something that
preventable.
It was 100% preventable and something that will never, ever leave the life or the mind of that young child whose life is never going to be the same.
You're consuming the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.